I decided to come on and go live. Give me just a moment while I get everything set up here. My desk's kind of a mess because I'm working. All right. Let's see. Orientation looks rotated. Okay, here we go. There we go. I think that works. Let's see. Let me come over here. Put this up on my other device. It's not showing that it's live yet. Let's see. But it is. All right. All right. All right. There we are. Get completely out over here so I can have this pulled up and see what's going on. Yay, I found it. Wonderful. Nope, that's not it. Sorry guys, you'll have to let me know if you can hear me. It looks like there's some people hopping on. Let me go grab my laptop. I think that's going to be my best bet. Right now I'm trying to use my second phone and it is not liking me trying to get on here for some reason. Yeah, it's not showing it anywhere. I don't understand why it wouldn't be doing that. Let's go home. Oh, good. You guys can hear me. Thank you, Joanne, the traveling crafter. Hi, guys. Hang in there. I'm going to probably have to go grab my computer. I don't know that this is going to let me. I have two phones. I thought it would probably let me pull it up that way, but it doesn't appear to be doing that. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Let me see if I... Yeah, it's not going to do it. Okay. Let me go grab my computer real quick. Sorry for the not having that out. I should have known that would have been the easiest way. One moment. Okay, I'm back. I'm working on some embellishments and taking a break from putting together covers, and thought I would hop on and visit with you guys. Pass the day away that way. All right, let's see here. Oh yes, I see it. Let's click it. Hopefully it lets me get in there and I can see what you guys are seeing. All right, I think we're gonna be okay. Yes, we're okay. Perfect. I just need to get my camera turned differently maybe. Here I am. Oh, that's right. I forgot there's a delay and everything. Okay, let me read comments and then, oh yeah, we're fine. I think we'll be okay. Technically, it probably needs to go maybe like this. Let me see what that does. You may have to go the other way with it. There is a delay, so I can see it on my computer. Oh, perfect. That'll work. We can do that. That works. And I'm going to move it up a little bit so that we can see more of my desk. My desk area is messy, so please don't think anything about that. I've been working at it all day and it is a little bit of a mess. All right, let me move my sewing machine back and then I can move these things up. I'm making Rolodex little cluster cards. I was going to do little yo-yos on each of these was my plan originally, but they have not came and I ordered them, let's see, probably a week and a half ago. I was hoping they'd be here by now, so I'm going to go ahead and do them like fabric clusters and put them in the kits that way. All right, let me read through some of the comments here. All right. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Cynthia. Thanks, guys, for hanging in there while I figured it out. I just need to always have my laptop out when I go live. I've seen other YouTubers use, like if they have two phones, be able to use their phone, and I thought that might be easier, but I think I probably just should stick with my laptop. All right. So are you guys having a good weekend? I know it's about over. Oh, hi. I'm not sure who Gardens is. What's your name, Gardens? So you're making clusters too. That's really cool. It's just a cluster kind of day. So I have these vintage Rolodex cards that were in my stash that I'm wanting to use up. And I had to pull from my new ones that aren't vintage for a few of them. But the ones that'll be in the kit, they are the vintage Rolodex ones. So these will be the cards for the 6 kits that I'll be selling. All right. And let's see. So I used the book pages out of the Sunbonnet Sue Baby's book that was in really bad shape, and I had leftovers and I don't want to let any of it go to waste. So I'm cutting or tearing those up to put in the clusters. And I think they look really cute. I think I've got a couple made here, so you can see that. I think those will look really cute on the edges of these cards. Oh, hi, Naomi. All right, I'll remember that. Naomi's Garden is how I'm going to remember that. Hi, Kat. Hi, Stacy. All right, so I'm going to start tearing these to finish making the ones for the kit. Gosh, that paper feels so thick, but it's just normal. It's just the thickness of the paper. It's amazing how older paper is so much different than the paper we have today, isn't it? All right, so before I make mine, I'm going to kit these up for the journals kits that I'm making. Yeah, I wanted to come on and do a live Friday. I had a crazy Friday at work, and it wasn't anything horrible. It was just nothing was easy, and nothing was easily resolved that came up, and there was a lot of things that came up that day. So all right, and I need to add a little piece of text to each one of these as well. All right, there we go. I love making these kits so much. They are so cute. These Sunbonnet Sue ones, this whole series is my favorite series I've done on here so far, by far. But I'm trying to, even though I've been making the journal covers and stuff like that, because besides the ones, two you've seen me make, I'm going to do all the squares I have and turn those into journals, because I know these will sell really well at the show I do in the fall. And I'll sell some on YouTube too. I'm sure they'll do well. I think the theme hits a lot of people, and it, like the nostalgic, and everybody likes the cuteness factor and the quilting and all of that. Okay, thank you, Kat. So you're saying when you've done lives, you were able to get on the TV, but not on your phone. Okay, good to know. I don't have a TV where I'm working at to where it would be easy to just read the TV for the chat. That's the part I need it for. That is good to know. All right. Piece of text in. This is a wallpaper using the scallop cutter. I found this in Goodwill, in one of the Goodwill grab bags. So I paid the $4.99 for the grab bag, but the main thing I wanted was this. Gosh, I can't even think what it's called now. Punch. That's the main reason I got it, and then there was some lace in there too. But I have used that so much, and I love the shape of it and everything. Has everybody seen the covers I've done so far? Would you like me to bring them over and show them to you? Oh, really, Joanne? You had never heard of Sunbonnet Sue? Have been a huge avid quilter. Not so much now, but when my kids were younger, I made lots of quilts for each of them. And where I live at, it's not as rural as it was when I was younger, but the fair was always a big thing, and I'd always put a quilt in the fair every year. So I definitely come from that background. That's one of the things I think so cool about junk journaling. I feel like it meshes all of our hobbies that we've had up till now, some of us, not all of us, and it blends it together in one hobby, and we get to do all those things we love. I went to the barn sale with my mom. I took her with me and bought some postcards that she had there that were Western theme, and bought a jar of buttons. The buttons was the main thing I went for. I really wanted to get buttons. I'll probably show those on Thursday, Thrift Day. Oh, thank you, Cynthia. Yeah, making the covers and making embellishments is my favorite part, and I constantly think of embellishments that I think I would like to make, and unfortunately I usually do that like right around the time I'm laying down to go to bed. I start thinking of all these ideas, and probably should get up and make them so I don't forget them by morning, but I usually just stay in bed. But I don't have too much trouble coming up with the ideas of what I'm going to make for embellishments. I just know on this series in particular, because these journals are going to have at least 2 signatures. I haven't decided if they'll have 3 or not. I'm going to need lots of embellishments to fill it up. Let's see, there's 4. I need 2 more. Does anyone have any questions for me or anything like that? I thought about it would be fun to get on and do like a question and answer if anyone had any questions for me or wanted to know more about me, anything like that. Piper and I, next weekend, we have to start working and get it finished. The wedding journal that I promised her we'd make, and I'm using a kit that I purchased from Madeline Diet Designs. We are going to do that probably on a live. We'll work on it. We won't probably get it finished, but I thought that would be a fun way for us to interact, since it's a little bit off topic of the series I'm doing, but you guys would probably still like to see that. So I'm making fabric clusters, Cat, and I'm going to be putting them on these Rolodex cards. So the Rolodex card you could journal on, put them in a pocket, or have them on a page as a tuck spot. Either way, I had a few of these vintage Rolodex cards, and I knew I wanted to use them just to use up. I'm trying to use up as much of the random stuff in my stash as I can, and I'd like to get to a point, it probably won't happen, but I'd like to, in a perfect world, I'd like to have my stash completely used up except for the things like that I truly, truly treasure. And then when I get ready to do a series, curate items, and I can reach out to different people that sell on, obviously there's eBay, Etsy, things like that, because I plan these series ahead of time. Because that's one thing I thought it'd be fun to talk about too, is next month's series, because I do have to start making, right now I've just been curating items for about 3 different potential series, and I've got to get ready to come down and make a decision and finalize what next month's series will be, because that's when I really drill in and start looking for vintage items if I don't have a lot of vintage items on hand, things like that. So I have where we could do a Western and Railroad theme, and I found, I'm going to show you on Thursday Thrift Day, the coolest fabric to do for a kit. I mean, you will not believe this material that I found. It's exciting. So that's one. Mary Englebright is another one. I have lots of books, and I was thinking in that series I could include a hardbound book, enough material to do the spine, and materials to make a curved spine, and we would go through that process together. So that's a possible one. There are a lot of them are Christmas books, I'll tell you that. There are some that are cookbooks, and then there's some that are like a mother's journal. There's different ones, and I don't have, like, all of them are not the same to where everybody would get the same book if I do a kit. So that's a possible series. And then I have the Sesame Street series, and it'd be the same thing. I have a ton of books. I could do the junk journals, the kits, where everybody gets a hardbound book, and the same concept as with the Mary Englebright. Now on the train series, the kits would consist of like that monthly journal type. I would be making a combination of like probably a couple monthlies, and then the rest would be the hardbound or the leather bound books with a spine. Kind of like how the Raggedy Ann and Andy series was. It would be like that. So that's what I've got to decide on, so I can, if I need to find other items, I can start curating those. I also could do an apple theme since we'll be starting into fall. That's an option. And I also have where we could do like a botanical theme. I've got lots of stuff in that genre too. But that's sort of, I didn't know if I should put a survey up or what I should do to see what the majority of people would like to see, or let's see what the comments are saying here. Let's see. Looks like Kat's got some questions. I see the capitals. Thanks for putting that in caps. All right, let's see. So beautiful weather in Wisconsin. And so it sounds like, Kat, are you having trouble with your YouTube today? Yes, I like the story of Sunbonnet Sue too. I still think I love the original Sunbonnet Sue, but like I would love if Bex was on here and she wanted to do the Sinful Sue version. I think that'd be so cool. That would be neat. Okay, what are you making? Talked about that. Are you just using YouTube or something along with it? I'm just using YouTube. Are you guys having trouble hearing me? Or is there something else going on? I'm just strictly using YouTube. And then I've got my laptop over here to the side to read the comments. Oh, are you making a wedding journal too, Kat? That's neat. All right, that's neat. I know I sell a lot, thanks, Joanne. I sell a lot of the Christmas journals at my show because people, the show's at the end of October. No, it's at the first part of November, so I don't have to do any Halloween stuff, but I do a little, like I'll have a couple fall journals. Those don't sell quite as much, but like the Christmas ones do. So I do want to do like a Christmas series before in preparation to get ready for that. All right, looks like I might need one more of the little scalloped edge circles. I see that it looks like I need one. Let me get that punched. But I don't know, do you guys have any input or thoughts on what you would like to see next? And I understand you guys may not be making anything remotely like what I'm making, but I know a lot of times with embellishment videos, you can take an idea and use it along with what you're making and gear it towards what you're making. So like I'm doing Sunbonnet Sue, but if you're doing Christmas, you know, obviously you could do the similar idea, just get some Christmas fabric, a little Christmas centerpiece, some kind of wrapping paper or lace, whatever, and then layer it on some kind of base. Same concept, but you're gearing it towards what the theme is that you're working on. Emery, I don't speak Turkish. I'm sorry. And I'm not sure if there's a setting on YouTube that would do that for you. I'm not familiar enough with that. If anyone else is, feel free to chime in. Okay, so Kat's saying do the Western journals, and I have so much vintage stuff. Like those could be really neat kits, and I could even, like, yes, I could do the junk journal kits using the fabric to where you'd have a complete journal, but I could also do like paper packs to where if you have items of your own and needed some things to go with it. I have some really neat playing cards with trains on them. Like I said, I've got a vintage engineering book that has the train schematics, and it has more pages than I'll ever use in my lifetime. And then while I was out today, I stopped in at a Goodwill and I found a drawing book on just how to draw horses, and the pages are perfect for junk journaling. I mean, it's not like you've got a colored image and then they're showing you, I mean, yes, they're showing you step by step how to draw a horse, but it's all done in pencil or charcoals. So it's kind of neutral for junk journaling pages. I think it'll be perfect. I'm using my Tim Holtz mini stapler to put these little clusters together, and then I'll glue them on once I get them put together. Let me work on that. Let's see here. It's just me today. I really miss when I did that last live. Piper was here and she was so much help. She did great. Okay, Kat. I will definitely put together kits for that. I do, Joanne. I sell kits. So last month I just did 2. That's about all I had because I want my kits to be, I like kits that when you get them, you're going to end up with a finished product that you don't have to, if you don't want to, add anything else to. Those are the kind of kits I like. So those are the kind of kits I want to share. And obviously, depending on what theme I'm working on, I'm able to do that better than others. So like this month, I've got 6 kits available. Last month it was 2. And if it becomes something where more and more people are interested in the kits, I can certainly gear my monthly themes and curate items to do more than just the basic kits and not as many. But honestly, I would be surprised if I ever sold like 10 kits in 1 month. I might be surprised, but especially with being a newer YouTuber and I don't have a ton of subscribers. So at this point, I think the number I'm doing is probably enough because not every theme suits, or not everybody wants to make every theme that I'm doing, I'm sure. And also, if there's any themes you guys would like to see me do, throw them out there. There's stuff I probably just haven't even thought of that would be a really cool idea. Last month I sold them on Ko-Fi. I'm going to try something different this month, Joanne. I'm going to come on and either do a video or do a live and offer them to the first 6 people that chime in and want them, or email me, whether it's a live or it's a video. That'll determine what direction that goes, and here's why. I don't know if anyone else sells on Ko-Fi. When my digitals are always free, but sometimes people will go ahead and put in a dollar amount when they purchase a digital, even though they don't have to. That money hits my account in real time immediately. But when it's a physical item, PayPal, or I don't know if it's the interaction between Ko-Fi and PayPal, it's getting held for 30 days. So I sold those kits, but the money's being held till mid-August. And I'd like to, where when I sold a journal here on YouTube, I sent a money request and they paid it, immediately hits my account. And that's what I would prefer, doing it that way. That way, everybody is happy with what they're getting, and I'm getting reimbursed for my supplies, that sort of thing. So it sounds like I should plan on doing the Western train theme next month. Let's see. You should join Cracklin' Path, Wilhelmina, at one of our live sales and bring your kits if you are up for it. Someone would have to reach out and explain exactly how that works. I'm usually pretty easy to catch on how to do things, but I've never done that before. So like you'd need to explain the process to me. Oh, it looks like we have someone here from Israel. Yeah, I've got 2 Sunbonnet Sue digitals over there, Joanne, right now, as well as like a Raggedy Ann and a 1950s housewife kit. And like I said, all you do is put in 0 for the dollar amount and they're free. And the reason why I will never charge for my digitals is because I'm using Chat GPT to help me make those. And anytime you use that type of software or AI, there can be misspellings, and I just don't feel like they are to the level I would want them to be to purchase them. And if I wasn't willing to purchase them, I wouldn't want to ask anyone else to either. But they're really perfect for like having focal points, that sort of thing, especially if you're doing a journal where you don't have book pages to cut images out of. That's my favorite way to make journals, is just to use the pages that are in books. But yeah, that's not always the case. You know, sometimes and I like using digitals. I'm glad they're out there because I do buy digitals from other shops. And that's something I can do in the future too, is if I find a digital for a theme we're doing from another, like on Etsy, I just share those links and that information so you guys can go out and get them if you want to follow along. Or like I said, you never have to do the exact same thing I'm doing. When you're making embellishments, it can always be geared to whatever theme you're working on at that time. All right, so I need 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if I've got a page that would allow me to do all 4 or not. I could try this one. Yeah, I'm trying to use up these pages so I don't waste anything. And don't forget, at the end of August, we'll do another wrap party, and I plan on, well, I don't plan on it. I will be giving away one of the journals, and then any items that are left over that I curated for this series that I didn't use will get given away, and a set of embellishments. So all the embellishments we make the whole month, those will be given away as a giveaway item too. So this month, I think everybody liked that and enjoyed that whole process. So I'm going to make that a monthly thing. Let me go grab a drink real quick. My allergies are really bothering me today. And the weather here in Indiana is gorgeous. Oh my goodness, after having that horrible heat wave, the weather has just been about as perfect as it can be. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for hopping on. I really appreciate it. I didn't announce it or anything. It's just so much more fun to craft when there's people keeping you company and you can interact with and talk to and get to know each other. I tell you, someone that I would love to collab with, have purchased so many of her kits, and I don't think she's on here today, Madeline Diet Designs, but I would love for her to curate a kit that if anyone wanted to purchase it, they could, and then I would make a journal and embellishments using her kit. I think that would be a fun challenge 1 month to do something like that, where you've got a limited number of items and see what you can make. But so far, since I've learned about Madeline, I have purchased every kit she has put out because they are so nice. You guys really should go check out her Etsy shop. And then Joanne puts together really nice ephemera kits. Junk Journal Joanne. If you want to share your Etsy shop, go ahead. She does such an amazing job. I just purchased some items recently from her, and I was thrilled with what I received. Okay, where is the little flower at? It's probably laying around here somewhere, and I'm just not seeing it. That's okay. I can cut another one. Grab that. these little daisies with the green centers. I got these at I believe it was a bag of lace, just stuffed full of lace at a estate sale for like $5. But the other lace was so much more impressive, and I almost didn't keep these because I didn't know if I'd use them or not. But I'm glad I kept them because I'm using them now. All right, let's see here. Okay, so now I can glue these down to the Rolodex cards and see how that looks. Yes, they are, Naomi. I love making clusters. All right. Sandy, your series you just, I think, are wrapping up or just wrapped up on your Patreon. Those books are adorable. I just loved how everything turned out. Yeah, after I get these made, I'm going to start on another journal top. I'm trying not to make so many that I can't get them all done in the month, but yet I know these will be popular, so I'm trying to make as many as I think I can get done. This works out good coming on and doing a live for making an embellishment because when I do them for the videos, a lot of time I'll have one made and then I'll make one with you guys. And then when I get off the video, I'm making, 10 more or something like that. And sometimes I get them all made, sometimes I don't. And so by the end of the week, I may have a little pile of things to finish up. Yes, that is the thing, having time to do everything you want to do, isn't it? I make them as I make stuff during the month, and it makes it easier that way. I don't think I feel like the kits are better that way because I make sure everything that you need is in there. And you also get stuff to make the embellishments that I'm making, which I think is fun because I don't know too many kits that you get that specific of a item. Okay, let me get these cleared out of my way, and I am going to start on a cover. Oh, thank you. It was fun. I like the Raggedy Ann series too, but does this happen to you? By the time the series was coming to an end, I was ready for a new theme. Do you run into that same thing with your Patreon, where by the end of the month you're ready for something new? I don't think that'll happen this month. I could be wrong, but I don't think it will. Okay. So I've got a couple tutorials up on how I make these journals, these Sunbonnet Sue journals that I need. Like I said, I'm going to be making more, so I thought I'd just make them while I'm on here. The other thing, before I started doing YouTube, I did do a lot of commission journals, and I've not been doing those and just focusing on doing the YouTube. And I've had, and keep in mind, I've only ever done commission journals for people here locally in my community. I've not done them for anyone online or anything, but I've had a lady reach out that's wanting me to do one, but I told her I just didn't want to overcommit with everything I have going on right now until I get more of a flow established and seeing how my schedule goes, that sort of thing. Oh, thank you, Joanne. I try. I've actually taught a lot of art classes in my life. I've worked for 2 different organizations where one of them I taught painting classes, and then another one it was card making and a little bit of everything. But like I said, I've done all kinds of stuff, quilting, sewing. I sewed my daughter's prom dress for her. I'll never ever do that again. It took me 40 hours to make her prom dress, and then all the girls wanted me to make their prom dresses the next year, and I'm like, nope, not gonna happen. That was way more work than I thought it was gonna be. Oh, Joanne, thank you. Yeah, I've also worked in the school system. My son has type 1 diabetes, and when he started school, we were in a very small community, rural community at the time, smaller than where I live now. And legally, schools that receive federal funding are supposed to have at that time, at least a licensed nurse on staff. And that way they would be able to, because he's insulin dependent, they would be able to give him his shots and check his blood sugar, because he was diagnosed when he was 3 years old. But so the solution we came up with, since the school system did not have that capability, and even if they were able to, they were not, even if they tried, we're not going to be able to have a nursing person on staff when he needed to start school in a timely manner. And versus not letting him go to school, I started working in a special ed classroom and resource room as a teaching assistant so I could have the same hours he did. I could be there to oversee his shots and his care. And then he would go to like diabetes camp every year. And when by the time he was 10 or 12, he could manage it himself. But that was, I worked for the school system though. Even before he was diagnosed, when my daughter was in school, I worked as a substitute teacher and did that for, I want to say 12 years. And then went into the business world after that. Let's see. So Cynthia, I actually noticed the opposite. So when I do commission work, I am doing journals I usually would never think to make. That's been, well, like you can look on my Instagram page and see some of the journals I've made. I did one that was for a bride, and they were all into gory, scary stuff. And she wanted her wedding album to reflect that. So I did if you look at the cover of it, it looks like a Victorian bride, but then if you move it, it's like the holographic image and it turned to a skeleton. I would never make a journal like that for myself, but that made me be creative outside of my norm. And I find when I do that, I grow, and that creativity muscle grows, and it makes it easier to be creative. And like if someone had an idea like, hey, do you have any ideas for how I could do this journal? It helps you develop ideas on the fly when it's not something, it's not your niche, it's not your everyday. It forces you to think outside the box. Yes, Naomi, if you are even playing with the idea of doing YouTube, do it. I have wanted to do YouTube for well, let's go back. I've wanted to do YouTube before more than a year ago. A year ago, I had everything like I needed to do it. And I let that like fear or self doubt prevent me from doing. So then finally, what I did, I started talking about it with friends, and I gave myself, like, I put it out there that I was going to do it. So then if I didn't, I'd be going to work the next day and people were like, oh, I didn't see you put a video up. Or my family would be saying, oh, you didn't put a video up. And I'm one of those people that if I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And so I knew that would force me to do it. And I decided, you know what? If I make one video and never make another one, at the very least, I accomplished a goal I set for myself. And that's okay. I think whenever you do stuff like that, it makes you grow as a person. And that's a good thing. Anytime you make yourself uncomfortable, and it doesn't have to be like real uncomfortable, but even just little things, it helps you to grow. It builds your confidence. And I wish I had done it years ago now. This is such a great way to share creativity, and it can inspire other people. And I get so much inspiration from watching other YouTubers. I just, I mean, I watch YouTube more than I watch any other thing on my TV. I have a lot of streaming services, but I watch YouTube and I'm watching creators, that makers, stuff like that. That's what I enjoy watching. And I think it's a way of sharing what we love to do. And people can tell if you love what you're doing, or at least I think they can. So I don't have a quilt block that will go with this purple, but I pulled some fabrics out of my stash that I'm going to use for the back cover and the spine. So these will be made, this one's going to get made a little different than the two I've showed so far, because the two I've showed so far, the back cover was pieced together on the ones like the kit, but the spine was from a quilt top, so it didn't have to be pieced together. So this one, it will all be done on the actual cover. I'll sew it together that way. But I think these are going to be pretty. I just love these blocks and didn't want to not make them just because I didn't have vintage fabrics. I think these purples, even though they're not, these are probably vintage fabrics. I've gotten them thrifting, but they're definitely not feed sack, but I think they'll be fine. I think they'll look just fine with it. And then, the focus, the front of the journal will be the feed sack. Let me read my comments here. Oh, a bowl of ice cream, Cat, sounds perfect. They opened up a corner ice cream shop in my area, and I have been going up there more than I should. I hate to admit that, but I have been going up there more than I should. But it is good. They hand make they make the ice cream every day, and they have a flavor of the week. It's so good. Yeah, Joanne, you should totally start selling. You've got some really neat stuff. Plus, I think it helps. Um, we all have different things that we find in our areas, and I think it helps us get lots, curate special items that we may not otherwise be able to curate if there were not people selling. And I think there's room for everybody. All right, let's see. I'm just reading through the comments. hopefully me and Piper can start and finish that wedding journal next weekend. I probably won't have any videos relating to this theme that weekend since she'll be here. But my plan is I'll either do a piece of an embellishment tomorrow or the inside cover of the journals tomorrow. It just depends, I guess, how I feel after work. But we will definitely get those inside covers decorated this week and make embellishments this week. That's the plan. And then I'm guessing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because she's spending Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We will, yes, Piper, she loves to craft. She's been crafting with me. I mean, just as soon as she was old enough to do crafts, she loves to craft. So she's wanting to get into junk journaling, and her first, I guess, step into that is going to be making this wedding journal for her cousin who's getting married in September. It would be her second cousin, but she's in the wedding. She's a bridesmaid, and she's wanting to do that for her bridal shower, and that's going to be coming up. So I told her I would help her, and we would get that made together, and that'll be fun this weekend. But I thought you guys wouldn't mind seeing videos of me doing that with her. And I know she enjoys doing the videos too. She really enjoyed the live video we did last weekend. And I tell you what, she helped so much because she could read the comments while I did the drawings and stuff like that. That helped so much. All right, let me get some glue on here. Probably should get a baby wipe right now. That way I don't accidentally get sticky hands. Yeah, she definitely is really growing up. I tell you, I can't believe she's in junior high. She went to open house, and where they show them their lockers and they get their schedules. She was able to open her locker on the first try, and I let her do it several times. That way she would feel comfortable doing it on that first day of school. I think she's really going to like junior high. I think most kids do. It's just that first day nerves you got to get through. What was you saying, Sandy, about Holly Hobby? I know that's like one of Maddie's favorites. I just sent her some Happy Mail with a Holly Hobby in it. Not the doll, but like a kit. All right. Let's put this down. Oh, just thrifting, and I've had these for years actually. Nothing that I came across recently. Like I said, I used to quilt a lot, and when I found these, I've held on to them hoping to find some, like a bolt of feed sack or seed factory production fabric where I could do the 2.5-inch strips to put them together. Originally, I'd plan on using these strips in a quilt because there was 24 of them. And that would make a really nice size quilt. And then for the digital, if you're asking about the digital, I scanned these blocks. That's how I got those images. And then I used Chat GPT, and it helped me put them into like fussy cut sheets. and stuff like that. Yeah, I have a video on how to use ChatGPT. I will say there's a learning curve with it when it comes to like using it to make fussy cut sheets, but I'm getting better. And that's not to say I can't still get a little frustrated with it, but for the most part, I feel like I get the results I want. It's all about being able to express what you want in detail and clearly. And if you have a picture that you can include for like color scheme, things like that, that helps a lot. Otherwise, you may not get, it may look a little bit more, I call it, I call my Chat GPT Pip. I'll say, Pip, this looks too much like Chat GPT. Like, I don't want the digitals to look like an AI created them. So then she'll make them look more realistic. And if you've got a favorite illustrator, she can take any theme, and it will not be images from that illustrator, but she can do them in that artistic style, which is really a neat effect too. Yeah, they're on Ko-Fi, and I'm on Ko-Fi under Tracy Hines, aka Nanner Bananer, just like I am on YouTube. And as the month goes on, I'm assuming I will put up another like fussy cut sheet, that sort of thing, because I make these digitals like just like with the train journals that I'll be doing next month. I'll start putting together that digital this month. And then as I actually start the series, I might find something specific that I need or want for a specific embellishment I'm making. And so then I'll make an additional sheet and just add it over there. I tried doing Etsy for the digitals, but Ko-Fi works better for if you're doing them for free than Etsy isn't really set up for giving things away for free. I wanted to ask you guys something too. I used to sell creative memories, and I have a ridiculous amount of punches and things that I don't use anymore, and they're like brand new. Some of them are still new in boxes. Is that something that if I ever did a live, you would be interested in purchasing? Is it even worth doing that? Or because I know I can sell them on the marketplace here locally too. I just want to get them out of my way because they're taking up a lot of room in my craft room, and that way, and I have literally just, it would be down the road, nothing recent, nothing soon. Oh, thank you. Like I said, the digitals aren't perfect. That's why I'll never charge for them. But it's nice when you're trying to make something, whether it's for Happy Mail or for journals, or if you just do a layout in a theme and you're just making a few items. It's nice to have focal points, especially if you don't have a book that has those specific images in it. Okay, Joanne, shoot me an email and we can talk. The shipping to get it to you is going to be nuts though, because everything's heavy. Like, you can imagine a box full of punches, how heavy that would be. We'll have to figure that out. But yeah, I can make you a really good deal on that. I just mainly want to clear up some space and move to a model where I don't have a lot of supplies on hand and I curate items for each series. That's what I'd like to get to. And you would think all the years I've crafted, because I feel like as crafters, we have more than one hobby. We have the hunt, the collecting, and then the crafting. And I know from all the years I've done other hobbies, like getting so much of the stuff sometimes can interfere with the ability to be able to do the making. And just the older I get, I don't want to store a bunch of stuff. I would rather get it as I need it and then do it that way. Because if I've learned anything, there will always be thrift stores and places like that to find what I need. Alrighty, I want this to be the spine. So I think I will go ahead and do the spine, and then any leftover pieces can go on the back cover. And then those will be on the back cover too. Yeah, I love this material. I was planning on doing some purple journals a while back and just never got around to doing them, and just think it's so pretty. Now I've got to decide, do I want the wide band in the middle or the thinner band? I think the wide is what I want. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's doable. I found some idea books at Goodwill today. One of them is one for just making candy, and then there was one for spring and two for the holidays that I didn't have. See, that's what I'm talking about. But there's certain things that, like I said, I will always grab if I see them. If there's a golden book that I like that I don't have, I'll grab that. And if, like the idea books, I love those. So if I don't have it, I'm going to grab it. Because I like using those in signatures. And as you guys all know, you always have lots of, always need lots for signatures. Okay, let's see here. Paste the material, but let me get it a little bit more manageable. All right. Yeah, I go through spurts of where I don't find them at all, and then usually Maddie or I go to Sandra's auctions or online sales too of Blossom and Inspire. She does a sale on Wednesdays, and I'll go to her sales. So both of those ladies on their live sales will usually have them, and you can get them for like $5 a piece, which with the way, depending on what Goodwill you're at and who's pricing the items, that's about what you're going to pay at Goodwill. I have gotten them for like 99 cents out of the magazine section, but usually they're marked for the $4.99. Is anyone going to be making Halloween journals or like spooky journals this year? I'm not going to this year. I have in the past, but I've opted to not this year. Just wondered if anyone else. I think they're so cute and they're fun to look through and look at. But all right, let's see here. Save that piece for the back. Yeah, I like the cutesy Halloween journals too. They're fun. And who knows, I might end up making some for my grandkids. My so Piper, she'll be 13 this December, but she's going in 7th grade, and then I have a granddaughter who's 7 who will be in 2nd grade, and they both like I've made them journals and they use them, which I gear theirs more blank pages so they can draw and things like that. But Piper's older now to where she likes the creative aspects of it. So this wedding journal will be a good like introduction to what junk journaling can be, and which it can be anything you want it to be, but you know what I mean. Yeah, okay. All right, Kat. Yep. I've got to make a bunch of Christmas ones too. I've got to maybe after the Western theme. Let's see, that'll be September. Debating if I need 2 months of doing Christmas or if I want to do Sesame Street in October and Christmas in. See, I've got to have the Christmas ones before my show at the first part of November, so I'll have to do Christmas in October for sure. All right, so there's that. I think that looks good for the spine. Get another drink so I don't start coughing. Well, plus there's so much Christmas stuff. Do you guys find like of all the times you make journals, like there's never a lack of Christmas stuff for making Christmas journals? And then that puts you into that scenario of you've got to decide what you're going to use and not use and that sort of thing. Here's a smaller piece. Cut that. I've got a ton of cute Christmas stuff that I got after Christmas last year that I can't wait to use this year. Yeah. I don't have quite an armoire, but I've got several totes. Well, Sesame Street's kind of a fun theme in that Halloween month. I mean, it's not Halloween by any stretch of the imagination, but I think that's probably what I'll end up doing because I do want to do the Sesame Street, I think. Other than, or if I don't, I might do 2 months of Christmas stuff. I don't know. That might happen too since I've got so many to make. And save the Sesame Street for next year when school time rolls around. That would be a cute idea for school time journals. I know, same. When I see Christmas stuff, I've got, so last Christmas, I was obsessed when Jessica over at the Paper Terrace did the mini Christmas journals. And she did that chunky charm. Did anyone see that? Well, I started shopping for all kinds of mini Christmas ornaments at the thrift store. Let me go grab that and I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's just right around the corner here. So she did I think it was 12 Days of Christmas on her channel that you could follow along with. And this is the charm that I made. And it's got a vintage little snowman ornament, Santa Claus. And then this is a snowman made out of beads and bells. This is an ornament. So I just love, 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 love how that turned out. And then this holds the cards in place here in the front. I don't remember. I don't think I decorated the inside. It's just blank. Yeah, I don't think well, I may have done a little bit, but I don't think I did too much. Yeah. So most of these are just all blank. I haven't got them all. I haven't finished it. But that was something she did on her channel that I followed along with and really enjoyed making. And this is a fun size to make for craft shows because it's perfect for like putting little photos. Like the person buying them can put little Christmas photos they take in them. Things like that. They make good gifts to give, like if you've had a photo shoot of your kids at Christmas time, to give grandparents and stuff like that. But that was something I made last year, and those sold like hotcakes at the craft show. I couldn't make enough of them, basically. All right, let's see. I'm going to put this over here. And then I did another one, which I gave that to my granddaughters. I made them each a Valentine's Day journal. And I did the same concept, like the mini journals with a really cool dangle on it, and they loved that. Yeah, exactly, Naomi. I do too. That's one of my favorite things to do with junk journals is make those chunky charms. And that's like when I do these shows, nobody wants to give a lot for journals. So I have to adjust pricing accordingly because of that. But the way I do that is I just, okay, let me figure this out real quick to make sure I'm getting this cut right. Debating, that's gonna look weird. All right, so I think I can get away with that. And that still gives me enough to fold over. And then let me do this side. All right, just feel like that almost needs to be like that. Right there, but then if I do that one that way, should I do this one that way too? And then it's not going to look weird. Yeah, it is. I mean, some journals, like, I don't know if you guys, some journals, you don't have a ton in them. And other journals, I mean, I may have $20 in making that chunky charm, especially if I've gone to Hobby Lobby and bought new beads and that sort of stuff and it wasn't in my stash. So if you're just selling locally, I think, especially if you do craft shows, the price points I find that sell are, I always sell out of anything marked $25. I do golden books at craft shows for $50, and at that price point, some people buy them, some don't. So I'll come home with some for sure. And then anything over that, I mean, I really don't, I don't sell it. So these Sunbonnet Sue journals will be my first time trying to sell a bigger item, because I'm going to price them obviously for more than that. And we'll see if any of them sell or not. They may not. And I'm okay with that. If I bring them home, that's okay. That is a-okay. And I think that's where you got to be with it. That's one reason I did the YouTube channels, because I wanted to get an online community that I could offer my journals to and have a bigger audience. And also, as fellow junk journalers, we're more apt to want to give like more what the journals are worth than people that don't really understand what they are and think, you know, what it will. I can't tell you when I do a craft show, it's like, well, what do you use this for? It's like, well, you can write in it. You can keep memory keeping in it. It can be like a photo album. But I do run into that. But another thing I make at my craft shows that always sell really well are bookmarks. As a matter of fact, I will make bookmarks out of leftover supplies from these series. Every month I've been making my daughter one because she's an avid reader, and she's like, Will you please make me a bookmark to go with every series you do? You know I don't do the junk journal thing, but will you at least make me a bookmark? So I've been doing that, and I think I'm going to start trying to make a few bookmarks from each of the themes I've done, and include that when I go to the show as well. Oh, I do too, and I love buying other people's journals. Are you guys that way? Like, I I don't know what it is. I will use a journal I buy from another maker and love every minute of it. And um, for some reason, I don't know if it's because I know how much work went into mine or what, but it's like I don't want to use it. But yeah, I love buying journals, and plus, I feel like it makes you a better. You do make them. It makes you better at making them when you buy other people's journals that they make. I did though this year. My whole life, I've always wanted to be a like journal, write in a journal, and keep that so my kids have that to look back on. And this year, I finally started a journaling habit and have stuck with it. And the way I've done that, because it's real easy and you get busy, so it's real easy to like start one, because that's what I would do. I'd start one, do really good for a month or two, and then life would get busy, and then I wouldn't keep up with it. So what I've started doing, because I am a list maker and I check it off the list, and I do the monthly journals I make. Once for mine, what I do is I get number stickers, and I like buying the gold rhinestone number stickers at Dollar Tree, and each day gets a number. So if it's a month with 30 days, it'll be 1 through 30 on the pages that are writable. And at the very least, that day is going to have a list on it, because I think we all do we have to-do lists. And then let's say that day something more happened than usual, then I might actually write a little bit about what transpired that day. And if it's a day where there's special memories and I took pictures, I'll include the pictures, I'll print them off and put them in there. And that's what's allowed me to start having a meaningful journal habit. And I'm really, not toot my own horn, but I'm really proud of myself, because it's a commitment to do that. And I think it's important. I mean, your family will love having something to look back on and read and know what you were up to and what you were doing. That's for sure. You'll never regret putting that time into journaling. All right, do I need to trim that? That does not look straight. All right. Okay, let me get my glue in there. I'm so glad I came on and did a live. I've enjoyed doing this a lot more, having people to talk to, than sitting here by myself just making it, that's for sure. Thanks for hanging out with me. Well, that's what I like about the monthlies. They literally can go in my purse or a tote bag, and I use them almost like a planner. I mean, and then, like I said, I add pictures. If it's a day where I took pictures, if something meaningful happened, I'll write about that. And it has really worked out good. And it's been nice to have that to go back on and reference. And, if you say you do want to write something meaningful down, or something you wouldn't want a bunch of people seeing, because I think that can be a hang up too for some people, that hinder their ability to journal and get what they're wanting to say out, is maybe they had privacy issues or something when they were younger, and so they're less willing to put information out there that others could read, things like that. That's what's so cool about junk journaling. You can have hidden journaling spots to where, like, the stuff that's maybe feels a little more private, you can put on in those hidden journaling spots that only you know where they are. So, but I think it's so important to record what we're doing, and it helps us, I think, process life in general when we look back and write things down. It's almost like our body lets go of it. Bye, Joanne. Thanks for coming and hanging out. All right. Let's see here. I'll stick that one on like that. Yeah, I probably should get off here shortly too. I only had about 58% on my battery, and my phone charger's on the other side of the room. I would not want it to just suddenly shut off. So thanks for hanging out, guys. And I will see you on a live definitely next weekend with Piper. The plan is we're going to be making the wedding journal for her to give as a gift for a bridal shower. And this week we're going to be doing the inside part of our covers and making embellishments, and then the week after that we'll sew in signatures and keep making embellishments. But thanks for hanging out. Keep it cute, keep it crafty, and keep making something out of nothing. Bye.